me before another night is gone. I'll find out where this highway takes me. You know I've got to travel on. Left my troubles all behind me. Back there when I climbed on board. Jordan River's where you'll find me. It's wide but not too wide to ford. And as I'm going along, I carry with me promises that can't go wrong as I travel on, as I travel on my way. Left my troubles all behind me, back there when I climbed on board. Jordan River's where you'll find me. It's wide but not too wide to ford. And as I'm going along, I carry with me promises that can't go wrong as I travel on, as I travel on my way.
All right. Good morning, everybody. And we thought we'd have another special treat with having Miss Chelsea and our prelude music for us this morning. And now it's your turn to join us on this beautiful Sunday morning in October. We're going to do a Chet Powers tune called Let's Get Together.
Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Know the dove is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, find to love one another right now. Some will come and some may go, and we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, time to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, time to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now, right now, right now.
All right. We love all of these pop-up musicians we have around here. It's a fabulous thing. And I'd like to introduce our musicians today. We have on bass, Bill Dixon. On guitar, Ed Cusby. On drums, David Page. Our song leaders are Karen Allen and stunt pitcher here, Mr. Jimmy Van. You heard from Chelsea Van. She'll be joining us later on an offertory piece. And our special soloist this morning is Kevin McMahon. So happy to have him with us. I'm Diane King Dan over here in the keys. And now it's your turn to stand on up, stretch those legs, and sing another song with us called I love myself the way I am.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are.
And now it's time to meet and greet your neighbor. Go say hi or high five them. All right, time to sing another verse. I love the world. World's the way I is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like
me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything.
One more verse and a key change.
We're going up.
Love myself, here we go.
I love myself the way I am. Still I want to grow. The change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living and to our service this morning. My name is Karen Allen. I am a staff minister here at the center, and I am just absolutely blessed and pleased to see each and every one of you. Everyone has a gift to share, and we are so blessed that you chose to be here with us this morning. And we start every service with our flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion.
We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Tony Sparks lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And please join me in prayer. Knowing that there is only that one, no matter what religion, what practice, just that one life, that one energy, that one power, that one love that is everywhere present, right where we are, right where we always are. It is all powerful, all knowing. And we are each one of us is its expression. We are its love, we are its peace, we are its joy, we are its wholeness in action. And what I know is that this service is a divine idea in the mind of God. I know that each one here receives a gift by means of this time. Each one here is lifted up, raised up, energized, inspired, moved, loved. And as it all unfolds, I am just so grateful for this time together, grateful for each soul here, for the love that we share, the community that we have, for knowing who I am in each one. And so I simply let go. It is already done. And please join me in saying, and so it is. And now I'd like to welcome to the platform Doris Pallardy with our affirmation.
Good morning, everyone. I am uplifted, sustained, and supported by a power greater than I. As I surrender to this power and presence within, I am transformed and filled with ideas for a world that supports unity of all life. I show up, I step up, and I do what is now in front of me to do. What is? I am uplifted, sustained, and supported by a power greater than I. As I surrender for a world that supports you, all life. And I do.
Thank you so much, Doris. Please welcome my dear friend, Kevin McMahon.
Raise your foot now, that's the way you'll be moving on today. Raise the other, put it down. Now you're heading into town. Oh boy, you got left, right, oh boy, ain't that right? Two kinds of people in this world. Some say yes and some say no. Time to choose which side you're on. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Say yes and your adventure starts. Not always as expected. Say no, you stay apart. But you stay protected. You've got to give yourself a reason to rejoice. For the music you make counts for everything. Now every living soul has got a voice. You've got to give it room and let it sing. My family never had too much, made the best of every day. Ate what's on our plate, you know. Never threw a thing away. We kept our nightmares on our shelves. Our dreams were on the table. Pass them down and help yourself, as long as you are able. My mama told me, son, forget what might have been. Give yourself a break, whatever's happening. Don't let your spirit, son, come closing in. You've got to give it room and let it sing. You've got to give it room and let it sing. You've got to lift up your voice and sing. Got some years ahead to go. You'll go free if you take it slow. Got some years, it won't be long. You'll be free to sing your song. Oh, oh, boy, you got left, right, oh boy. There's precious little really folks like gossip control. You can make your music from the simplest thing, and you're the one who's got to tend your soul. You've got to give it room and let it sing. You got to give it room and let it sing. You got to let it sing. You got to let it sing. You gotta give it room and let it sing.
Kevin McMahon. Thank you so much, Kevin. And please welcome our very own Reverend Heather Dawn Clark.
Thank you, Kevin. Wow. Pick that one foot up and then pick the next foot up, because you're created to be happy, purposeful, and enthusiastic. That's my talk title today. Created to be happy, purposeful, and enthusiastic. Here's a kid doing just that, but where it came from is this. We encourage our community members. This is from our organizational design model. We encourage our community members to live courageous, fearless lives and to be passionate about its possibilities. So that translates into created to be happy, purposeful, and yikes, happy, purposeful, and enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. So we're going to, the greatest tool we have is spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. So I want to introduce someone to you. So we have a new member of our ministerial staff coming from Costa Mesa, ordained minister, Reverend Carla Shiradas. Please come up, come right up. Yay, we're so happy that you're joining us. So you'll get to know Reverend Carla. You'll get to know her as she discovers what gifts she has to give here. I'm so grateful that she chose us and we chose her, and it's a really great, great marriage that we have with the ministerial staff. And their center, along with other centers, the Costa Mesa Center for a long time have done this prayer wall, right? So we're doing it for the very first time here. We've done it on our Wednesday Wisdom service. So I'd like to invite all the ministers and practitioners to come forward while I explain to everybody else what's going to happen. And we're going to make a big wall of practitioners and ministers at the very front. And Carla, you and I will step down as well. And we're going to invite anyone and everyone in the community who wants prayer this morning to come up and get it. It's going to be a mini. It's not going to be a long prayer. It's going to be a short, quick, clear prayer, because this is our greatest gift that we can give you. And I wanted to start this very special service with this great gift. So come and get it. Please mute me so that I'm only heard by the person I'm praying for, and let's begin. So as let's acknowledge the consciousness of our ministers and practitioners and our Lee and Dina who did this wonderful job. And thank you so much. You may be seated. And thank you, Diane, for being so flexible and changing the order of service with me. It's who we are and what we do here. What we do is see to the truth of you, past your circumstances, past your history, past your name, past your role, to what you are. And that what you are is God in expression, divine mind in expression, life in expression. What you are is powerful beyond measure. What you are is infinitely good and infinitely great. And it's my job and our job as practitioners just to keep you awake. That's it, keep you awake. And I don't mean while in my talk, although that's always nice too, although when you're sleeping, it just goes straight in, and then you really get it. But Ernest Holmes says this, we all know as though something inside were forever telling us that we were created not only to live and work, but also to be happy, purposeful, and enthusiastic. We all know that intuitively. And when we get quiet, that something within us speaks to us and says, yes, this is for you. This is for you. You know, a couple of pictures that I chose. The one on your right is, of course, my mom and my sister and my niece and I. And that was New Year's Eve of last year. She made her transition in June, and that she was never out of that bed. That was where she lived. And yet, could we still be happy, purposeful, and enthusiastic? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can see we were enjoying each other. And then I also chose a picture from one of the shows. This is Wade and Kimberly, who, of course, are not here today because they're so involved in everything in life, but they're fully engaged in that show. And I think it was a Western piece, and I think it was there was a lot of emotion in it, not energy in it. We're energetic beings. We're here to express who we are. So Ernest Holmes also said this, we need to have a big concept of the fundamental nature of life, God, the universe. We need to know there is a limitless abundance of all things good. That's why any practitioner can treat for you, can pray for you, regardless of whether they've met you before, whether they know your story, they know your circumstances. But here is what we know. The fundamental nature of life is that it's good, that it's limitless. There's no limit to it. Now, I think there are others here that are just like I was. It was so easy for me in the beginning, when I first heard these principles, to see God in others. I could look at someone else and hear their stories and see the universe. And I remember being in Mile High Church. I was still in the Edmonton Center, and two of us were sent all the way to Denver to take part in a course called On Course, which was a personal development course that was put together for the specific purpose of being presented at religious science churches. It was presented often at the Huntington Beach Church because the people who organized it were from that church. And those two people came up to, eventually they came up to Edmonton and presented it to us, to our little community there. But they needed helpers for the course. So they sent us to Denver, and I'm participating, and there was this big process, and everyone was participating. We were in a circle, and each one in the circle was sharing who they were and what was blocking them from really being fully who they were. And I was in tears for every single story. Every single story, I could see the truth that they couldn't see about themselves. And I thought about that, and I thought, you know, I've been like this my whole life. When one of the family stories is when I was 2 years old, because my sister was 7, my mom was reading her Bambi. And she thought, well, it wouldn't have hurt if Heather, she's only 2, she can just sit here and listen in. She won't get the story. But we got to Bambi's mother being shot, and I'm flooded with tears. I got the story. Being separated from mother was about the worst thing I could imagine at 2. And I was imagining it very, very well. Thank you very much. Easy for me to be compassionate toward others and to see the beauty, the truth, the greatness in everyone. I still can see, as I look out at you, how beautiful you are and how filled with possibilities, and that your stories are not who you are. Your past isn't what you are, who you are. Well, anyway, the leader of the chorus, Michael's son, came to me and said, he took me by the hand and he said, "You really can see this, can't you, Heather?" "Yes, I can. They're so beautiful." Crying, snot all over the place, very unpretty. He said, "But you don't get it in yourself, do you?" He said, "You don't feel that God is within you, do you?" And he got me. I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Do you realize how arrogant that is?" "What? Arrogant? Me? I'm humble and nice. How dare he?" But he got it. Because if I thought I was so powerful that I could keep God out of my presence when God was everywhere, it was a complete false belief. And do you see what a wonderful gift it was to me that he told me the truth? That he told me the truth in that moment and helped me to awaken. What I know about our spiritual path, that the awakening process, as I mentioned last week, our whole job is to be awake. And yet it's so easy to fall back asleep. Spiritually to fall asleep. Not physically. Sometimes we have insomnia, but spiritually, we never have spiritual insomnia. The truth is that it's always there in us, through us, as us. And are we using what we know to the best of our abilities? Are we letting that light shine through us so that it is brilliant? Are we choosing happiness? Are we listening to that divine purpose? And are we allowing that light to shine through us? Are we living spirit-led, principle-driven lives? Spirit-led, principle-driven lives. That's who we're here to be. We're here, even in the muck and mire of things, to let that song, that's the universe, be sung through us, for us, and to us. Right? That song. To get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits, as Emerson said, and let that song be magnificent. But you know, you can't do it until you know it for you. You can never give it to another until you know it for you. And so we go to sleep, we wake up for a moment, And in that moment of awakening, of awakened consciousness, we see our magnificence, we grasp it. And at that in that present moment, everything, the whole universe is there at our command. And if we don't go back to sleep, if we don't dig it up again, it comes to pass. It becomes manifest. That's the nature of life. That's what principle driven means. We plant the seed in that fertile soil of mind. And as long as we don't pull it up again, up it comes as an experience, as an event. I want to tell you a couple of things. My prayer partner asked me to pray for her. And and I was praying for increased prosperity. So out of the blue, she got a check for $11,000. Yeah, congratulations, Lisa. Congratulations, Reverend Lisa. It was out of the blue, and it was normal and natural. And there was actually a way that happened. That's her business. I won't tell her that, but I'll tell you mine. So we were both praying for additional prosperity. And I was saying, okay, I'm going to picture having $20,000 additional dollars in my checking account. That would be prosperous, since I rarely have any excess. It's always coming and going and coming and going and circulating. Last week, I look at my checking account and I had way over $20,000. Congratulations, Reverend Heather. Now, when I set that declaration, I didn't know that from my mom's passing, there would be not one, but two gifts that would come in. I didn't know at that time that the agreement I had with my realtor would actually fund me $2,500 additional money. I didn't know that in addition to that, I would get $3,000 cash for something else. You see, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I planted the seed anyway. That's what we need to do. Now, for many of you sitting here, that would be a no thing. For other people sitting there, that's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. It's happening all the time. Our job is to stay awake, to pay attention. And as Etika Luckett says, if we're not experiencing awe and wonder, we're not paying attention. If we're not experiencing awe and wonder, we're not paying attention, because the universe is constantly demonstrating, giving itself, showing up in our lives, showing up as greater good, as increased prosperity, as more vital health, as energy, as connection, as family and friends. I had a couple of friends come into my life that I haven't seen for 30 some years. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. But that doesn't just happen. It happens because a seed is planted. And when the seed is planted, then we start to experience the results. So Ernest Holmes also said we should always be breaking down old patterns of thought and creating new ones of a greater vision. That's always my invitation to each one of you, to myself as well. What do I need to think differently? How do I need to perceive this differently so I could have a new idea? Because a new idea will always be an idea that blesses you. A new idea will always be something that frees you. A new idea is a spiritual idea, a God idea. And I think we're used to thinking something like between 60 and 90 thoughts a day. Most of them are habitually the same thoughts as we thought yesterday. And yet, if we really were breaking down those old patterns of thought and creating new ones of a greater vision, what a wonderful experience we'd be having. This whole month is about personal transformation. It's about global transformation through personal transformation. So every time you have a new idea, even if you haven't spoken to anyone else, there is something that's shifted in the universe. The consciousness is raised, and there's more good around you. There's more good for others because you were open to a new idea, especially a new idea about yourself, especially a loving, kind, compassionate idea about yourself. Because if you're having new ideas about lack, struggle, limitation, or not enough, stop it. Just stop it. It's not the truth of you. Those aren't God ideas. Those are good God. Whose ideas were those? A God idea is going to fill you with energy and enthusiasm, with life. And what stops us? I think we are stopped by old patterns, old beliefs. We're stopped, we go unconscious about what we're really thinking and allow the past to become the future. So much of the false beliefs we learned way before we could even talk. We decided things were true by watching, and they weren't true. And they've never been true. You're magnificent right now, and so am I. And if you allowed yourself to really be who you are, there would be so much energy in this room that we wouldn't have to turn a light on. It's the brightest thing in the world, your consciousness, your consciousness. And where, I love this picture, this came from Santa Rosa, and it's a picture of class, of people sitting around us in class in chairs, and it's been reformatted. So it's this design. But I thought, you know what? This is great because so often the place that we get to practice new ideas is in classes. So often where we get to practice thinking outside that box is in classes. And when we do have a new idea about ourselves, a new idea about the other people in our class, and a new idea about our community and our world. And that is global transformation. So you were created to live a magnificent life. You were created to sizzle with enthusiasm. Sizzle with enthusiasm, to sizzle with enthusiasm. So let's just take that in. You were created to live a magnificent life. So let's take it personal. I am created to live a magnificent life. I am created to live a magnificent life. Are you willing to do it? Okay, and so it is. And so we're going to just go on and once
Welcome
more.
back, Kevin.
Yay!
His song, Nothing is Too Wonderful to Be True. Okay, boys, you got time.
Look at the way the moon behaves. Look at the way she paints a silver ribbon on the wave. One thing I've learned that I'll share with you. Nothing wonderful to be true. Each moment opens like a flower. The age of miracles comes every hour on the hour. Turn any corner, there's something new, and nothing is too wonderful to be true. If I'm perceived to be naive, to be the way I am, let people say I am a silly goof. Is life a playful? Am I grateful? Every day I am. It's an amazing world in which we live. I've got living proof. Look at the way the moon behaves. Look at the way she paints a silver ribbon on the wave, leading directly to me and you. And nothing is too wonderful to be true. And when it seems your hopes and dreams are on the run again, bad luck has come again, and it won't stop. The clouds will part and you will start to see the sun again. And life's a ball, you're standing tall. You found your way back to the top. Breathe in and taste the ocean breeze. Look at the way the leaves are dancing in the banyan trees. Listen to what they are singing to you. Nothing is too wonderful. Nothing is too wonderful. Nothing is too wonderful to be true.
Kevin McMahon. Thank you so much, Kevin. He's going to stay here because do something special for offertory.
So then if the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. It's always so good to practice circulation. You can do that just now by breathing. Take a nice deep breath and feel that it wants to be let go. Doesn't want to just stay. All right. And please repeat after me. Divine mind in me.
Divine mind in me.
Blesses and consecrates.
Blesses and consecrates.
All that I am.
All that I am.
All that I have.
All that I have.
All that I give.
All that I give.
I give with love.
I give.
And I love to give.
And I love to give.
And so it is.
So it is.
In whatever time we have, for as long as we are living, we can face whatever comes. If we face it now as one, I couldn't make it on my own. Let me know that I don't have to. No one really wants to be alone. In whatever time we have, times we are afraid, with so little to believe in. It's all right to be afraid. I will hold you in the dark. All we know for sure is this: though the world could end tomorrow, you and I will be together in
whatever time we have, for as long as we are living,
we know life
we can face whatever comes. If we face it now as one,
and we won't change. You'll be my fortress, and I will be your shield.
no one really wants to be alone. In whatever time we have, there are times I've been afraid. In a world that's so uncertain, then I feel your hand in mine, and there's courage in my heart.
We could live 100 years,
or the world could end tomorrow, but we know we'll be together in whatever time. From this day forward, nights won't seem so black. From this day forward, we will never look back. In whatever time we have, we will make the most of time, and at least we'll be together in whatever time we have.
Thank you, Chelsea and Kevin. Some Children of Eden. All right, and speaking of children, let's get those kidlets in here. This little light of mine